Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to talk about and show you some back stretches. Not so much for, if you have an injured back, you definitely want to see your doctor, especially if it's quite painful and quite bothersome. But these are if you have minor back issues and your back's tight, and of course no structural damage, but these are to alleviate some of those tight back muscles, make you feel better. About a month ago, I tweaked my back. I turned 53 next month, so I'm not that young, not that old. But how did I hurt it? I don't know. I woke up, my back hurt. So crap happens. So now I'm going to show you some back exercises that help me get to that point where I feel much, much better, even though it's been a whole month. And I'm very eager to get better. And it is like 90%. But anyway, let me show you how to do some back stretches. Okay. So on this first one, what you want to do is arms out or arms in. So what I'm going to do here is slowly twist to one side, nice and controlled motion as far as I feel comfortable. Return to neutral, which this is neutral, and then to the other side. Nice and controlled. Now some of the stretches are going to be a little bit more intense than this one, but this is the first one, so that's why it's almost like a warm-up. You can also do it hands here and turn. And then what we did in martial arts all the time to get that, my idea of the punching, is as we go back, we extend the arm, bring it back in, extend the arm. Now what this also does is, you might notice a little bit more in your lats, not just the low back as you're turning. So of course the lats are more near the thoracic part of the back, because you've got the cervical up high, thoracic, and then lumbar at the bottom. So that's that good stretch. Another one is the feet wide, hands on the hips. I'm going to make big, big circles. Now you'll feel this in other spots besides your back. Like right now when I'm in this position here, I feel it in the hip, the glute, and the inner thigh. And then when I'm forward, I feel it in my lower back a little bit. The quads up here near the hip flexors as well. And I'm turning this way. So, there's not really any right or wrong time ways. I mean, I wouldn't do this for an hour, but you could do, like a minute, 30 seconds to a minute perhaps, or do like 10 rotations on one side and then reverse it and do 10 rotations in the other side, or once again, 30 seconds to a minute. Okay. Another good one for this one here is for the lower back. So it's going to work probably a little bit of the lumbar back as well. I mean the thoracic. Feet close together, very slight bend in the knees. You're going to keep the chin up, go down as far as you feel comfortable. And you want to hold that position. Okay, you still want to hold anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds and come back up. Now the next time you go down, try to go a smidgen farther. And one reason why I could tell, and you should be able to see improvement. Now, I used to be able to, before I somehow injured my back sleeping, I used to be able to put my knuckles on the floor. Now, as you can see, I'm nowhere even close to that. However, a few weeks ago, the farthest I could go down is about here. I don't know if you ever saw The Big Bang Theory, but Sheldon was going to go for a run with Penny. Penny's stretching. She goes, let's do the hamstring stretch. And he goes, yeah, that's tight hamstrings, tight lower back. He looked like he's never stretched. It was funny, but a lot of people are like that. So your goal is to be able to go down as far as you feel comfortable. And see, right now, I just touched my toes, and that was my third or fourth time coming down. So even during this stretching period, I already saw improvement. It's not hurting my back. Another variation of this one you can do, once again, nice and controlled as you go down as far as you feel comfortable, and then both hands to one side of that foot, then slowly to neutral and to the other side, back to neutral and up. And just like most stretching, you could do some of them dynamic. They may or may not hurt you. In general, it's not good to add speed to stretching because speed creates momentum. Momentum can create injuries because that means that energy is in control of you instead of you in control of that energy. Another good one for the back is, I don't know if this is called pretzel stretch, but I see it a lot in yoga. this is my left leg. So I'm gonna put my right foot over my left knee. I'm gonna take my left side and go that way. Now I can still go this way, and it's a little bit of stretch, but I'm not gonna feel it in this hip because it's open. So if I go to the other side, and I could use a little bit more leverage by using this hand and pulling on the knee, and I just go back as if I'm trying to look behind me. And this is good for the core, the lower back stretch. It's gonna work the hips, the glutes. And depending on how tight you are, you might even feel it in the quad a little bit. It really varies person to person how tight you are and what muscles are working too hard or not hard enough. Then to switch to the other side, left foot over right knee, right elbow or right hand, pull. And once again, I'm trying to look behind me and really stretch. Now, one of the other rules of stretching is if you don't feel anything, you're not really pulling hard enough and you're not stretching. However, if it feels very tender and painful, you're stretching too hard, or you have an injury and you really shouldn't stretch at all until you get doctor's approval or physical therapist or something. But you want to feel like mild to moderate. Try to hold that position. But once again, mild to moderate is a little uncomfortable, but far from pain, okay? Another one, since I'm already down here, is I lay on my back, use both hands on one knee, and I'm gonna give myself a hug. And I pull and I hold that position. Now, of course, this leg isn't stretching in the lower back, but the glute and the hand, lower back is working a little bit on that side. I could always come across my body, try to keep my shoulders down. Ooh, yeah. See, I could tell I'm tight because this knee should be able to touch the floor and I can't because I could feel it in my lower back. So right now for me personally, this is moderate. May not be for you. You might be able to go all the way down, or you can't go as far as I am. So it's not a competition, because I know in certain classes that sometimes people are watching the person next to them and they try to stretch as much. Yeah, don't be worried about what other people are doing. Do what your body feels comfortable with, because the last thing you need is an injury. So leading up to what I was just trying to do is the rock. So I'm gonna pull my knees towards me and rock a little bit this way. So I'm stretching my back. Now, granted, I said earlier about the dynamic. This is more of a counter pressure on the lower back muscles on a surface. Now, granted, this isn't as hard as the floor that's underneath it, and I probably would not want to do this on the hard floor today because I still am a little tender on my left side and lower oblique, but that rounding motion gives a good counter pressure and almost like a self-massage for it, okay? Another good exercise is similar to Cobra pose, I believe, but if you can't do as high as a Cobra pose, you could lie on your stomach, go up on your forearms, and hold that position. So the curvature of my lower back is, a good stretch. It's also stretching out the abdominals, which is also important because that's the antagonist to the lower back. So you don't want to just focus on the front or the back part of your core. Your core is 360. So the Cobra poses, so if I push up like this, once again, try to hold that position. And like for me right now, this is comfortable. It's close to moderate. So I couldn't stay like this all day. But once again, listen to your body. If this is too intense, back it down here. Another good one, although it's more of an exercise than a true stretch, is doing a Superman or super person, whatever you want to call it. So I could do opposite hand and then opposite foot, down and switch. Kind of like a modified bird dog, but instead of being up here for a bird dog, I'm using more of the main muscles instead of the stabilizer muscles. Or to make it a little bit more intense, do both feet up in the air and both hands, and that's making the lower back muscles work, which isn't a true stretch per se, but the good thing about that is it forces more blood into those muscles. That oxygenated blood helps, and it'll help make you feel better. All right, another good one for the back. It's also going to work the obliques, a little bit of the core as well. Obliques is part of the core because, once again, core is 360. And this one you have to be careful, especially if you have balance issues. So you could do it from a chair, but what I'm gonna do is just gonna put one hand here. It could go anywhere you want basically, but it makes you focus on the other side. I'm gonna go over. Now, I'm not gonna dip forward or arch my back backwards too much. I'm trying to go linear, directly to the side or to the lateral side here. Hold that position. So it's stretching out the oblique and the lower back as well. And you wanna hold that position. Once again, you may not be able to hold it for as long as you'd like to, but you still try to do 20 to 30 seconds, maybe even up as high as 40 seconds. Slowly go over to the other side. Once again, hold, 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 but you'll feel it in other muscles too. Like for me, I feel it on this inner thigh. Now, if you're super flexible, you may not feel it on the inner thigh. Once again, each person's different and they have different issues. Mine is I'm not really warmed up a whole lot. I am a little bit, because you also, as a safety thing, you don't want to do hard stretching if you haven't warmed up yet. I've been walking around here at work, so I am a little bit, but I'm not pushing as hard as I would if I'm really trying to accomplish good stretches, because I'm doing a YouTube video. So you do want to, once again, go to that mild to moderate one. Another good one I'll show you is another counter pressure one where you could lay on your back. It's very soothing and relaxing. It's good for the lymphatic system. I recommend laying on your floor and putting your feet up on a couch. I don't have a couch in here. I have some chairs, but I'm gonna show you if you wanna do it against the wall. All right, so on this one here, I'm gonna lay on my back, put my feet on the wall. Well, I don't live here, so even though it's got some scuffs on the wall, I'm just gonna take my shoes off. So once again, I don't put dirt or footprints on the wall. So I lay on my back, and the key that you try to do is get your butt close to the wall. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Legs up, nice and relaxed. Oh, this feels good. At home, I've actually fallen asleep like this with my feet tucked over a couch, but there's different things you could do. So rather than just have your feet up, which is very nice counter pressure, once again, drainage from the legs, but while holding on, you could do very slow windshield wipers. Once again, it all depends on how your back feels, but I could come like towards the camera, nice and slow, as far as I feel comfortable. Like right now, I feel far more pressure on my right lower back because my legs are going to the right. This hip on my left side is actually up in the air. That's actually my bad side. So when I come back over this way to neutral, compose myself and then go over, yeah, now I could feel much, much different on this side because this hip's coming up some. So I have more of my lower half body weight coming down on that side. You could also do, if you want to work the inner thighs some and still have the counter pressure on the back, is open up the legs apart as far as you feel comfortable and just hold that position. The good thing about this one is, since your body weight's not going that way, it's coming this way, it's much safer on the knees. I've actually seen somebody dislocate their kneecap trying to do the side splits. It's not very common, but it can happen. The likelihood of me doing that to myself in this position, slim to none. But gravity's pulling on my legs, so I could feel it tight without me having to push or do anything. And then you could relax and then do another stretch, holding that position. So you can listen to music while you do it, whatever you feel comfortable. I always tell people when it comes to exercising or stretching, because stretching is often one of those out of sight, out of mind things, that when you do it and enjoy it, you're far more likely to comply. So I would recommend doing it at a time of day that's convenient for you, so it doesn't feel like a chore. You know, that's why adding music to it, just like most other kind of workouts, you know, it's very tough for some of us, myself included, to work out without music. So, you know, do what you feel comfortable with. But once again, consistency is the key, and just doing it is better than not doing it, okay? So tell me what you think in the comment box below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.